Hey everybody, John Pondick with the Mojave Valley Daily News. I am here with Kane Wickham. What's going on, brother?
How are you, brother?
Kane is our Laughlin, Nevada Times reporter. He is everything Nevada. So if you've got Nevada, right?
All things Laughlin.
Nevada.
Nevada, yeah.
Because I know
Not Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah,
Nevada.
Nevada.
So he is all things Laughlin. We've got today was our Laughlin Times came out, and it's almost exclusively Kane's work, pictures, everything. So we've got some questions. I'm hoping you do as well. So we were going to, if you are watching on our Facebook page here or on our YouTube page, just type your question in there, and we'll try and get to it. And I will fire it at Kane and see what his response is, young man.
Could be any question. Doesn't have to be about Laughlin. Any question at all.
Right, any question. So first we're going to talk about a couple things in here. Right off the bat, we want to talk about a story that I don't know where the mistake was made. Somewhere along the line, we put a wrong number in here on the Community Health Center participates in Nevada's vaccination program. So, Kane, can you tell us what's up with that? It says in here that the state offered Kelly 2,000 doses to administer. It turns out that was off a little bit.
Just a little bit. The actual number of doses that Donna Kelly, who is the Laughlin Community Health Center practitioner, she's a MSN, licensed practitioner nurse. They received 200 vaccine doses from the state of Nevada after she was listed as an accredited medical personnel, medical practitioner, so she could receive those from the state. They received 200 doses of one of the three vaccines, and I am not absolutely positive if it was Moderna or Pfizer. I think it was Pfizer. They used 140 of those, of the 200 that were administered out of the Laughlin Health Center. So that's how the mistake was. We didn't get 2,000. I don't think the state of Nevada's gotten 2,000 in one sitting yet. It's very difficult for Nevada to get these doses, but we start out with 200, administered 140, and she will be receiving more as they go through the age bracket groups that are in descent.
Where are you at right now? Is it 65?
I believe it's 65 and up is the next one. They can, Laughlin residents can receive these vaccinations from the Laughlin Community Health Center, which is located in the Professional Plaza just behind South Point Market off Needles Highway in Laughlin. You do have to pre-register. You have to make an appointment, schedule it. You can do that through the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce. They will take your information and schedule an appointment.
Does the Laughlin Chamber just do everything over there?
Laughlin Chamber is pretty much.
Jack and Mazeo over there. They got the LTC is through them, right?
Yep.
The Convention Visitor Center is with them now, right?
True. Absolutely, yes.
She's booking those things. She's opening businesses.
Yeah, that's that. And we're talking about, of course, the president and CEO of the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce, the one and only Jackie Mazeo Whalen, and she is also the president of the LTC Laughlin Tourism Commission.
All right, so while we are on the subject of the Laughlin Chamber, one of your headline stories here, Connie Davis walk and roll canceled, but mission remains. So tell us what's up with that. Connie Davis is a former chamber CEO over there?
Yes. She was quite a legend in her own time, and she passed away from cancer about, I believe, 6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I would have to double check on that. But since that time, it's been an annual event on the calendar in Laughlin. The Connie Davis 5K Walk and Roll is what it's called. Officially, it starts at Pyramid Canyon Recreation Center, just outside Laughlin off the 163, and walkers wind their way around the mountain back to the pedestrian bridge in Laughlin and back to Pyramid Canyon. This year, it has been postponed, and in place of it, we are doing a raffle. The Chamber is doing a raffle. So you would want to get your tickets. You want to get tickets in advance as quick as you can. You want to contact the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce to get those, and that's how we will be doing this year.
Raising some money for the cancer fund.
One quick note, if you want to make a donation by phone straight to the Connie Davis cause, which goes to the Colorado River Fund's Cancer Connection, is where all the funds go from that. To do that, you simply dial area code 702-298-2214 and extension 0. And you can make a donation for the Connie Davis Walk and Roll raffle this year.
All right, we got a question here. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. First, I want to add, last year they raised over $13,000, $13,447. Some of the things that they have for the raffle is a 2-day, 3-night stay in a luxury suite, fine dining dinner for 2, a 4-hour slingshot rental via 220 Tours. What's a slingshot? Do you know?
A slingshot is an
Three-wheeler?
incredibly entertaining little vehicle. It's
Three-wheeler.
a 3-wheel vehicle that anyone that has a driver's license can rent and drive.
Wow.
Between 4 and 8 hours. You can rent them across the street from Harris Casino, off South Casino Drive, directly across the street from Harris.
Wow, that's awesome. That would be pretty fun to cruise around out there.
It's good. You see them all over town. People seem to be having fun with them, and they've been renting for about a year now, and they have been doing very good.
Thinking
very
you
well.
could probably bar hop over there in one of them slingshots, huh, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't
No?
know. You're not much protection
Oh, you gotta
around
be
it.
on
Not
the
much
road.
protection.
All right, never mind. Don't bar hop in a slingshot. All right, we have a question here. When are marijuana dispensaries going to open in Bullhead City? So we talked a little bit about that this morning. It was addressed at City Council last night. They are ready, but first of all, those licenses have to be awarded by the state, and I think they've handed out like 73 of them so far. I don't know that any of our local people have applied for one yet because the city hasn't completed setting the code and restrictions and everything else. There's a lot, are they going to allow them to deliver or not? Are they going to, what's the city sales tax going to be on that? Where are they going to be allowed to build? What kind of restrictions do they have over and above what the state already has? So the state already says you can't be within 100 feet of a school or whatever their restrictions
Churches,
are.
things like that. Yeah.
But what is the city going to institute? So they had their meeting last night. They made some decisions to move forward on some things. The only one that I saw they made a decision on was the zoning for growers, not for the actual dispensary.
Yeah.
So right now, the only one that we have is just medical. That's Debbie's. The only one we have on our side.
True,
Over in
yeah.
Laughlin, you've got Nevada Made.
Nevada Made Marijuana is the only one I think that's within the township proper, and they have the sales facility and their grow facility on the same property.
Really?
So it's all located right there. Stretches from Thomas Edison Drive, where the grow facility is, all the way down to Casino Drive, where the outlet is.
The dispensary.
Yeah, the
And
dispensary.
the dispensary's inside the outlet down there by Bikinis or something.
Right beside the Laughlin
from what I
Outlet
hear,
Center. Yeah.
From what I hear.
Directly beside the Laughlin Outlet Center Mall, and which, by the way, is only open from noon to 6 p.m. right now, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah.
And the dispensary is separate buildings located right beside that all.
And they're recreational too, not just medical.
Nevada passed their law for recreational, I think, well, certainly before Arizona. I don't know how many years ago it was.
Mm-hmm. So even though Proposition 207 passed, it still has to be approved as far as what requirements here in Bullhead City before they can open up a dispensary. I don't know if I believe Debbie's is one that's going to probably want to move up there and or maybe open another location and at least turn theirs into a recreational one as well. All right, back to it. We were talking about Connie Davis. There's another event that was scheduled for next month that there was a change to. Is that right?
Oh, a tragic one, tragic. And pay close attention to this. Next weekend's Race of Champions, Best in the Desert Race of Champions, the signature race that kicks off the season for Best in the Desert off-road races, has been postponed. The state of Nevada issued updated COVID guidelines, and that wrecked things for this next weekend because it required a whole there wasn't enough time to go back and redo the filings that were necessary to file with Clark County and the state of Nevada to make that happen. And so it has been postponed until September, I believe September 21st. So what was going to be the Race of Champions UTV Championship Best in the Desert on March 25th through the 28th has now been postponed to September 21st through the 24th, I believe.
But it's still going to be in Laughlin.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Same location as always, which is off Thomas Edison Drive and Bruce Woodbury Parkway.
It's an amazing event. You can see it from miles and miles away. You can see the dust that they're kicking up out there. You know that they're tearing it up out there. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. All right. On to the next. More students to return to classrooms. So this was announced last month. Clark County Superintendent Jesus Jara provided a timeline. It's
For
very odd
everyone
to
to
me.
go back.
Right,
now.
but it's
Yeah.
super odd to me. It's like this grade, that grade, and that grade. Go ahead and start on this day. And
It
then
seems
that
like a
one, this one.
hodgepodge. Yeah, it does. It's like
Is it a dartboard thing?
This coming Monday. Okay, they started out 2 weeks ago, and the only people allowed were pre-K through third grade. And so everybody went back to Bennett Elementary, and we covered that. And it was a great reunion. The teachers and the kids all loved it, getting back to school, seeing all their friends, stuff like that. Starting this coming Monday, the grades 6, 9, and 12, the seniors, the 6th graders, 9th graders, and the seniors will report back Monday morning. The remaining classes will report, I believe, 2 weeks after that. But strangely enough, just those 3 will start back to school this Monday. That's 6th grade, 9th grade, and seniors. And they will be heading back to Laughlin High School and the middle school over there. So we talked with Principal Estes over there about all the arrangements and the precautions and all of the systems that they have upgraded or installed to make this a safe environment. They have done everything that they could do. They were sandblasting the sidewalks out in front of the school last night. They've installed plexiglass everywhere. They have installed cleaning stations. There are regular sanitation crews that work there, and they even upgraded the filters in the HVAC system to make sure all the kids
Better
have a healthy
airflow.
environment over there. So,
Yeah, good airflow and all that.
yeah.
All right, so let me ask you this. They are now going to cram all of their sports in a 6-week session starting, April 13th or 6th or something like that until the end of the
They
semester.
kind of pulled back on that a little bit.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't think it was a realistic thing to think that you could fit all 3 seasons, falls, winter, and spring sports inside about a month, which is basically what they're looking at. What it breaks down to is we're going to do the spring sports, which are going to be softball, baseball, and track. Practice on those begins February 4th, and
March
the first March 4th. April. I'm sorry.
April 4th?
Yeah, it's April 4th.
Okay.
We'll get it right here in a minute. It's April 4th, and the first game for softball and baseball are going to be April 16th. So far, there's no scheduling listed because they're not really going to be competing against other teams. There aren't spectators that will be allowed, so this will be basically almost an intramural. If they play someone from another town, I have yet to see a schedule. None have been issued. And the restrictions until May 1st are still such that I just don't think it's feasible. They certainly couldn't do a whole season's worth of even just spring sports as they normally would.
That seems ridiculous. All right, I'm going to lob a couple questions at you. One of them is very controversial, and the other one I think you're okay with.
Okay, fire away.
First
We're in
one
trouble
is,
now.
Think the Laughlin Mall will make a comeback?
Say that again.
Do you think the Laughlin Mall will make a comeback?
I think what he means, because there's so many stores that are vacant.
It's never. I don't know. And of course, I
what would
live
it
in
have to come
experience.
back to?
Well, I don't know that it's ever been at full capacity.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, so I really can't say that's factually true. But in the time that I've been here, which is now about 2 years, it's never been at capacity. They have tried to bring in as many new businesses as possible. They've done a good job with it. The place looks great. The theaters are still there, which, by the way, I think they're closed right now. But COVID did them no favors, and they are now on a limited schedule of noon to 6 every day. It's the only time that they're open, and the theaters, I think, are closed down right now. So,
All right, you ready for the other one?
yeah, fire away.
What is going to happen with the Colorado Bell? What have you heard? Anything?
Mystery ghost ship The mystery of the ghost ship Belle. All right.
So the questions that we've been seeing is there's lights on there all of a sudden, and
Ghosts.
is there activity in there? Is there ghosts?
The ghost ship came alive, so we've been told. For a couple nights during the last week and a half, something to that effect, people have called and told us that the lights have been lit, that the Colorado Belle has been lit up as it used to be when it was in operation. Of course, it did not reopen on June 4th of last year when all the other casinos were allowed to reopen. It closed with them in March. It did not reopen in June. The reasons for that have not been clarified, so there's a lot of speculation going on out there. So far, Golden Entertainment has not given an official statement on why it did not reopen, what its future is, or anything to that effect. So everyone's been left in limbo with the landmark that everyone knows is Laughlin, the famous, world-famous Colorado Belle. The lights that were on, I have not gotten a solid answer as to what those were. I don't know if they were testing systems, seeing how many lights they need to replace, what was going on there. But for some nights during the last week, the lights were on at the Colorado Belle, and a lot of people took notice. So we got a lot of phone calls about that.
Maybe they were showing the property.
That could be.
You never know. That there was talk about sale. There's talk about renovation. There's talking about tearing it down and putting something else in its place, which makes a lot of people wince. But no official statement has come out of Golden Entertainment, who owns that property, as well as the Aquarius and the Edgewater.
Yeah, so please, we know that there's a million rumors out there about why it's closed and didn't reopen, and people love to spread those rumors. None of that stuff has been confirmed, so just because your mailman's cousin's sister heard from their hairdresser that something was happening over there, it doesn't make it true. So please, just we'll get there.
The Skeleton Hotel is not coming back to life.
That's right.
Not yet. Not yet. As soon as the Colorado Belle, there's anywhere on the Colorado Belle, you will get it from us first. I guarantee it.
Right. You heard it here first. All right. Here's the main thing we wanted to talk about. The incorporation in Laughlin revisited. I'll just kind of do a 10,000-foot view thing here. First of all, how many times has this been tried now? Do you know?
To get it accurate, I would
Not
have to
for
do
sure.
a lot of research.
All
My belief is that it's been about 6 times.
Okay, and I heard 5. So
There were 2 different votes that were taken up on the matter, and both times they failed. When the voters were allowed to vote on incorporation, they voted against incorporation.
Was it even close? Do you know?
There really wasn't.
Yeah,
really
that's-
wasn't. But there were 3 other instances, I believe, where it was introduced directly into the legislation. It was not formulated from the ground up, from the citizens up. It was just introduced, I think, in all those cases by Senator Hardy, who covers District A and has been a major proponent for allowing Laughlin the choice to incorporate is probably a good way to put that.
You know, that is the politically correct way to put it. I am allowing Laughlin to have the choice. But Laughlin, the way I understand it, Kane, and correct me if I'm wrong, Laughlin is not asking for that. I mean, you may have residents smattered here and there, but when you soundly defeat something
that many
the
times,
voters
yeah.
over and over again, why do you bring this back?
It just is an issue that will not die. No one really knows why. When you weigh out and do a full analysis on the situation, most people come to the conclusion that Laughlin would not be the same town that it is now, because it would lose a great deal of its services, which they are dependent on Clark County, Nevada for, which includes Las Vegas Metro, Clark County Fire Departments. We have a lot of public works, roadways, things like that. All those things that are, all those public services are provided for Laughlin by Clark County. If the township of Laughlin, which is what it is, it's not an incorporated city, so there's no city of Laughlin. If the township of Laughlin were to incorporate, they would then have to supply all of those things for themselves. Don't believe that they can contract. There was talk about that, but I don't believe that they can contract with LVMPD and continue to keep Metro on hand. They would certainly have to replace the fire department. They would be looking at some major costs. There's been a lot of talk about it over many years. Right now, one of the main issues, and it's an issue that's come up in the past, is the number of residents. Someone came up with a formula that to incorporate Laughlin, there would have to be at least a minimum of 15,000 permanent residents in Laughlin, not just people who go over there to work in the casinos, but actual residents. Currently, the population of Laughlin is between, depending on who you ask, between about 7,500 on the low end to just over 10,000 on the high end. Most people lean with the lower estimate, so we are quite a ways from that being a feasibility. The one benefit from this incantation of this idea, this concept here, is that it will provide Laughlin and the Laughlin Town Advisory Board with an in-depth financial analysis of the state of financial affairs in Laughlin, speculating and projecting what taxation would look like, how much funding they would be able to produce from within their own township based on property taxes, consolidated taxes, things like that. And they would be eligible for consolidated taxes. But right now, the numbers, when you put them side by side, they just really don't equate.
Right, so let's take a look at this. If you compare Laughlin to Bullhead City. If you took Bullhead City's the city budget and took a look at that, that will lay out all the things that have to be paid for. So it wouldn't be at that scale, obviously. It's a much smaller city, or
Sure.
it would be a much smaller city. But the city of Bullhead City collects sales tax. In Laughlin, the incorporation that he's put forward, although we don't know the boundaries of it yet, correct?
Not the exact boundaries. There is a map that's out there, but the map came without markers of streets or businesses, so it's kind of difficult to orient yourself. You get a generalized concept of it.
Okay, so not exact, but roughly where it is. However, it does not include any of the tribal land, so
Nope.
the AV and the golf course and all that over there wouldn't be included.
No, and neither are the casinos.
Casino Drive.
That is separate as well as it is in Las Vegas. Even though Las Vegas has the Strip, the Strip is actually not considered part of the city of Las Vegas. Transversely, the Casino Drive in Laughlin, in any incorporation scenario, and every single one that's come up, is excluded from the city. So therefore, they are not part of the tax base, which is part of the problem.
All right, so all of you people that are from here or that live here, if you go driving through Laughlin and you said, all right, I'm going to take away everything that's on Casino Drive and the Avi, what does that leave you? Some grocery stores, some gas stations. I think there's
Not
a
a lot.
dry cleaner or something up there, and that's where all your where the sales tax revenue is supposed to come. There's Gilligan's is out there.
There are
thinking that would be
restaurants.
good.
There are retail outlets there, but Laughlin does not have many of them and never has. Aldapi's, thank God, was luckily replaced by a really nice upscale market and some professionals out of Colorado. So we got there, didn't lose that. There's the Family Dollar. There are really very few outlets. When you get to the outlet center, and the other two that I just mentioned, you're limited to about that.
Yeah,
Really.
it doesn't look feasible, huh?
I just don't see that. I think the general consensus, not my personal opinion, but the general consensus that I have heard spoken back to me and in these meetings about this is that most of the residents feel they would lose too much, and therefore it's just really not feasible. It's not worth investigating because what you would give up is far greater than what they feel they would get. So I think that's where that argument, where that idea and that concept and that debate kind of stops right there.
All right, financial support. They'd be giving up too much financial support from Clark County. All
They'd
right,
lose too much.
we're almost to a half hour, but we have another one here. Will there be a smaller version of River Run? I'm gonna let you start, and I've got some stuff maybe I can add on to that.
There
From what I
is
know.
going to be, in the time frame of the Laughlin River Run, at the same time,
And
that
in the
would
general
normally be,
area.
yeah, and in Laughlin as well. There will be a celebration this year. It will not be called the Laughlin Run, and it is the people who own the rights to the Laughlin Run are not participating in this. Basically, if my understanding is correct on this, and I've read up on what's coming, I believe they're calling it Carpe Diem, seize the day. and it is more oriented around a tattoo convention and tattoo artists for that very same weekend. And I am at a loss.
It's like the third week in April. It's
Third
like the
week in April.
24th, somewhere
Yeah.
in there. I know that Larry Springer is involved in it, the tattoo artist.
Yes.
Mayhem.
Yes.
Mayhem is the group that's working with that. They've got a huge following already. There's a lot of people that are saying, it's canceled. Now, the official Laughlin River Run won't be happening, but there is an equivalent. I guess you could call it a smaller version of it. He had struggled with getting vendors, or not vendors, getting a place to do it on the Laughlin side. And that wasn't happening on the Laughlin side.
He was knocked out. The person who acquired the rights to the Laughlin Run acquired them last year, and he was wiped out by COVID, so we did not have anything last year. This one, though, it is centered and oriented around the tattoo sort of convention, basically is what it is. We are expecting a massive amount of motorcycles to still come. They are still welcome. They're free to come. That there's no one is telling you that you can't bring your motorcycle and come and enjoy the week as if it were the Laughlin Run. And we are expecting a lot of motorcycles that week, but it is not officially the Laughlin Run. And we may see that return next year because the promoters who now have acquired it are working diligently to get it back on.
I got a question. Are they going to be, the room rate's going to be high?
They have room packages right now.
Okay,
available.
there we
They've
go.
been selling them.
All
so,
right.
It's not going to be going through the River Run website to book them. You're going to have to get a hold of those casinos and
Directly.
hotels individually.
Yeah.
And actually, there is a great chance that the Holiday Inn Express will be open before that.
Well, okay.
There's a great chance. Not 100%.
No, that's the one on Silver Creek?
Yeah,
Okay.
across from the hospital. So,
Okay. That's been a long time coming.
right?
Yeah.
It's been ridiculous, but it's good.
That'll house a few.
Yes. All right. I don't know that I have anything else. Jed, do you have any other questions?
No, that's
over
it.
there?
That's all the questions for the
Anything,
day. Our
Kane, that
30
we
minutes is almost up here. And Mike, anything to say?
No, great show, guys.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Mike's real
And
quiet on the mic
all
over
the
there.
time in the Times. Be sure and pick up your Laughlin Times every Wednesday.
There you go.
Also a photographer. So even if it's not Laughlin, you'll see some of his stuff in here. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you again next Wednesday. Don't forget tomorrow morning at 7:30. We have the Daily Dose. I will be on vacation next couple of days, so my boss will be stepping in. So be nice to him, please. Thank you, Kane. I appreciate
You're
it. man.
welcome, brother.
All right, you need anything? You have any leads for Kane? Get a hold of him here at the paper. He's a Laughlin guy, but he'll run all over the place. So you take care of him.
All right, guys. See you later.
Help.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Cool.